and we'll jump right into it.
Excellent.
Commissioner, the announcement, of course, was made today that there's going to be an appointment of a new board of managers as well as a conservator. And for those who don't know what that means, briefly, what does this mean for the district?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, a board of managers is required under state law if there is a situation of chronic academic failure. So, if a campus fails, gets an F rating 5 years in a row, the Commissioner of Education is required to intervene and either order the closure of that campus or install a board of manager for the whole district. In Beaumont ISD, you have two different campuses that reached 5 years of chronic F status, but you actually have well over half the district that is a D or F campus, and only about 30% of kids that are on grade level. So it's really a systematic inability to support effective academics. A board of managers is essentially a replacement of the elected board of trustees. So a board of managers has the same power and duty as a board of trustees, but it is essentially a new leadership team that comes in. So we have posted on our website an application for citizens from Beaumont that if they we're looking for people of character and integrity, people who believe that all children can learn and achieve when we, the adults, get our act together in terms of the supports that we need to provide, and people who are really servant leaders that recognize that they're going to be on that board to serve the kids, not the other way around. And ultimately, once we select those individuals to be on the board of managers, then they will become the new governing body for Beaumont ISD.
Now, a lot of this is going to take some time, but there should be some immediate changes, I would imagine, that students, staff, families will notice between now and the appointment of the new leadership, particularly of interest to the low performing campuses. What should people look for uh, the soonest? What
Yeah, that
changes will they see
that
sooner?
that is a good question, and actually, we hope to try to communicate directly with parents pretty soon through the district. But I think it's actually the opposite of that. People should not, nothing is changing today. Today, we're announcing our intention of installing a board of managers. So the local school board, local leadership, administrative leadership team will just continue doing their best to lead the school district. So I would not anticipate any sort of significant or radical changes. There may be some changes, but they would be whatever changes that the current local leadership chooses. The changes, I think, would begin after the new board of managers is placed from that point. So I think to some extent that would start to affect the school the schools in the new school year. This would be the 26-27 school year would be where one might start to see changes in curriculum or master schedule or the way that teachers are supported. That those kinds of things would start after the board of managers takes effect.
Now, of course, this would depend on when those changes take place, but what commitments will the TEA take to maintain continuity of education? Because if you have one leader starting the school year and a different leader toward the end, that could
Yeah.
could cause some concern.
It's a good question. I will say that there is leadership turnover that happens in school districts periodically. This is you can imagine that voters elect a new slate of board trustees. That happens from time to time. And trustees sometimes replace superintendents. This happens. So this shift of leadership is not unusual. It's something we're very used to in public education. So the goal is to make sure that kids have access to good schools, that parents know what to expect, that kids get the support that they need to be successful in schools, and that next year is better than last year. This is functionally the goal. So the there will be changes, to be sure. We need to see changes in terms of how we support students in Beaumont so that we can help them to achieve higher and higher levels of academic success. But in the near term, most of the plans will be for the next school year.
Okay, and I think that answers a good question about the timeline. That's definitely and I would be on my mind if my student was in the school. Are there any other benchmarks in timeline we should look for?
Well, the reason that this intervention is occurring is because of really significant long-term, multi-year levels of academic challenge. And so our overarching goal is no more multi-year failing campuses, period. Ideally, no more failing campuses at all. Although sometimes it's difficult. We live in a real world. You can imagine having an off year in just one school, but the goal is that the schools district as a whole, the way that it provides support to principals and teachers, enables them to be successful, to address challenges, to ensure there's a disciplined environment for kids, to ensure there's a loving environment in each campus, and to ensure there's rigorous academics, that kids are learning how to read, write, and do math and do it well, learning history and science and the arts, becoming the best versions of themselves.
So along this path, there's going to be some benchmarks, some metrics that the school district has to meet. Can you kind of
Yeah,
give
so
us
that we
an overall picture of what that'll look like?
So every year we will evaluate the campus's academic performance on an A through F rating scale. Those ratings come out generally in the fall, let's say called the August timeframe. The school district itself will have some interim benchmarks along the way that the administration will report to the to the board of managers, and those all happen in public meetings. So, but predominantly what I'm going to be looking at from my lens is, are there any multi-year failing campuses in the district? The goal is that needs to be zero. We want to see no more multi-year failing campuses in Beaumont.
Now, parents, I'm sure will have a lot of questions that I can't even imagine at this point. What is the plan for TEA to ensure transparency and so that the community is informed?
So we will have a community meeting soon in Beaumont, organize it. We also will have a communication going out to the parents of Beaumont through the district. We want to try to be as transparent as possible in this process. We have a web page on our website that's devoted to the Beaumont ISD Board of Managers that shows what the process is, how long this takes, what can be expected after the Board of Managers, how long the Board of Managers might be in place. Our goal is to make this leadership change, make the positive improvements to the campuses as quickly as possible, and then return back to the elected board of trustees when those changes have been finished.
Now, I understand that leading up to this, that the district didn't turn in a proper appeal for some of this. And for someone who, like myself, who doesn't know how the process works, what action should the district have taken before now but didn't?
Oh, yeah, I think you're talking about appealing the individual academic ratings.
Yes.
I would say that's actually less important because that's really about appealing whether or not we calculated the ratings correctly. What does happen is that if the district disagrees with my decision, there's an informal appeal that they can hold. We will do that within the next 30 days. And of course, if they want to, they can sue us. So that's to try to use as an expedited appeal process if they think that what we've done is inconsistent with statute.
David, one more question.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. He said time for one more question.
Oh, okay. I thought he was asking me a question. I
Oh,
understand. Well, really, that is the main points I wanted to hit. I know that you're the expert. I'm not. There's probably a lot of things I should have asked but didn't. Is there something else that's very important for folks to know?
well, I think just from a moral perspective, we owe it to our children to give them the absolute best experience that we can. And I'm not just Commissioner of Education. I'm a dad. I've got 4 kids in school. I want for the kids of Beaumont what I want for my own kids. I want them to gain access to a great education from skilled teachers using rigorous curriculum, and that's what we are attempting to support in with this change in Beaumont to the extent possible. For the people that are in Beaumont, we have a lot of very great educators, very hardworking teachers and principals. Even again, I want to say thank you to the hard work of the leadership team in there. But ultimately, this change is necessary to try to provide sort of a new holistic leadership environment to support our schools and our kids in the district.
Very good. Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Thank you.